It was very disappointing because a lot like Onward, it looked so good, and then it just sort of turned into The Secret Life of Pets. It kind of tried to like turn it around at the end, but it really couldn't. Just disappointing. I mean, it's good and bad, ups and downs, but overall, not well paced. I didn't really care for it.
My 18 is also Soul. This movie started just like you said. This movie started out. It started out unique and beautiful and funny, and I was really like, wow, this is really interesting. It's very rare that you see a children's movie, well, family movie that not only deals with like death, but also deals with things like passion, like what's the meaning of life, what makes life worth living, and what when you look back at your life, do you really feel like you lived it to the fullest? But then he turns into the cat, and it's just like Pixar, you had an amazing movie, and then he turns into the cat, and it's like, oh, the movie was exploring such deep themes, but then I think the writers were like, oh wait, we need to entertain the children, so let's have him turn into a cat, do a bunch of dumb slapstick, and like you said, the movie does get a little bit better near the end. Um, when he's chasing 22, it's a kind of good scene, but he spends so much time in the movie in that cat. And then at the very end, I'm like, okay, maybe I can respect this movie more if Joe, that's the main character, goes to the great beyond and dies and accept. It would be like him sacrificing his life for 22. I would have loved that. I would have been like, okay, the movie's still not as good as it could have been, but at least it had a good ending. But no, then the Jerry comes in and you're like, we're gonna give you a second chance because you helped 22. What did he do? What did he do? It's ridiculous. And he accepted it. It's not like he was nervous about dying. He was like, I accept this. I'm happy. And you're like, good. That's a good ending. But then they give him a second chance. And he comes back to Earth, and I was just like, ugh, you couldn't even. I have no idea why they thought it would be a good idea to make the decisions they did with this movie. It's like it started out amazingly, and then it was so disappointing. I've never been more disappointed by like a story beat. I've never seen a movie take such a drastic turn in quality, and I hate this movie. I really hate it. It makes me mad. I don't like it at all.
My number 17 is Finding Dory. And then keeping with Onward and Soul, same thing. Finding Dory starts off pretty good. She gets lost. Her parents are looking for her. I thought that was cool. But then, even actually towards the middle, it's pretty cool. It's just they didn't really stick the landing towards the end, where the truck.
It gets very ridiculous.
Yeah, it gets a little outlandish. I mean, it's a kid's movie, whatever. But it sort of just kind of falls off the cliff. And so Finding Dory literally falls off the cliff. But it starts out really okay, and then it just sort of kind of falls off. And it's kind of this back end of the Pixar movies. That's kind of what's happened with them for some reason. They start off good, and then they sort of just kind of fall off.
Pixar's lost it. They used to make great movies, and sometimes they do, but most of the time their new movies are just bad. They're just not good. Although we're the only two people in the world who didn't like Soul, apparently. Everybody else on the internet loves it for whatever reason.
I mean, the first 33 minutes, really, really good.
Maybe they stopped the movie at that point, and that's why they love it so much. But anyways, my number 17 is Onward. The only reason I put it above Soul is because at least the movie was consistent. The whole movie was just... I didn't really dislike it as much as you did. I was just kind of like, it's cute. It's nothing great, but it's fine. It feels more like a DreamWorks film.
Because you've never watched Lord of the Rings.
That's true. I've never seen it. Maybe we can rank that in the future. But as of right now, Onward, And the ending was... It was cute. It was fine. It's fine. I don't have much to say about it. It's just a perfectly adequate movie. Put it on. It's more for the kids than everybody. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, they're good. It's hard to dislike them. Although some people dislike Chris Pratt now. I didn't really keep up with that controversy. But yeah, it's an okay movie.
Number 16 is Incredibles 2. I really like Incredibles a lot. The first one. Second one, not so much. I mean, it's okay. I like the family dynamic more, and there's really not a family dynamic there. I don't know. I didn't care for the storyline. It was pretty predictable. I just thought that after Incredibles 1, which was such a really good movie, that Incredibles 2 would be somewhere close to that, but it really wasn't. And so it was kind of a disappointment. Not a bad movie, just disappointment.
My number 16 is Cars, the first one. I put this movie on the other day like as background noise just because I was bored, and it's better than I remember. I'll give it that, but it's not it's definitely lower tier Pixar. Lightning McQueen is not really the most compelling character, but the movie does have some pretty good scenes. It's actually better than I remember, but it's still not great. It's not a very. I just don't like this world. I really don't like this franchise. I don't like the idea of cars being people. Like there's a scene where cars are going to the bathroom. It's like, how do cars go to the bathroom? How do cars like eat? How do cars do this? How do cars do that? It's like, I don't know, and the movie never explains it. It's dumb. I don't like the world. I think if this movie was just like regular people, I would like it more. Like if it was just like a race car driver, maybe I'd like it more. But they're cars. Yeah, I don't care for it.
In my rebuttal, Ka-chow.
God.
So Ka-chow, I think Cars is a little better than what you think it is. I think Lightning McQueen's pretty cool. It tells a pretty good story. Has some good themes in there that are both for kids and for adults. So I have a little higher on my list than you. I think the Cars 2 and Cars 3 not good, but the first Cars not too bad. My number 15, Toy Story 4. I know everybody loves it. I didn't care for it. It was kind of like same thing. I like the ensemble cast, and Toy Story 4 was more of a Woody, like a Woody standalone. You had some what's her name? Bo Peep in there
Peep, yeah.
too. But for the most part, it's a Woody episode. I like the Buzz Woody dynamic, and there really is no Buzz Woody dynamic there. So Toy Story 4 for me is kind of a miss. Not terrible, but it makes my top 15, but definitely not my top 10.
Yeah, my number 15 is Incredibles 2. Brad Bird said that he wouldn't make an Incredibles sequel unless he had a really good idea for it. And it's like, this is the idea that took you 14 years? I really doubt that. I really think that... Because it's not like he would go back on that. It's not like he would say, oh, wait, no, Disney just paid me and I would make this movie. But I would have liked to see the kids grow up and have Violet and Dash be like a superhero sibling team up. I don't know, something. But it felt more like an Incredibles Saturday morning episode than the continuation of the story of the Incredibles. And I just don't understand why Mr. Incredible gets so upset when Elastigirl, Helen, when she's like succeeding and she's like, yeah, I did it, and he gets all mad about it. It's like, no, this is good. If she succeeds, then the superheroes will be able to be doing superhero stuff again.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the movie, like the adventure aspect of the movie. It's a fun movie. It's just as a story, it's very disappointing. And the villain is the most predictable thing in the world. The only thing I like about it is Bob Odenkirk is in it, and I like Bob Odenkirk, and he basically plays Saul Goodman. So I like that. And that's the movie. If they make an Incredibles 3, hopefully it's better. Although I doubt it, because Pixar I don't know. They make the dumbest decisions.
I would like to see Jack a little older.
Oh, Jack was like the main character of the movie.
Yeah, I would like to see him a little older. Because they'd already kind of explored Jack as a baby, like in a short that they had in one of the movies. But I'd like to see him a little bit older, like trying to come to terms with his powers and stuff. That'd been cool. Instead of fighting with a raccoon, I was like...
Jack fights a raccoon. Yeah. Right. And like when he became like a fat baby at the end, I was just like, what the heck are they doing?
Yeah.
You better hope this kid doesn't get bullied at school, or else he's going to become the biggest supervillain the planet's ever seen. But yeah.
All right, so my top 14, these are the money movies.
My top 11 are the money movies.
So these are good. These are good movies. This is where Pixar, I thought, really did a really good job. Number 14, I'm going to say, is Monster University. I think it's a very fun movie. Obviously, it's not the first one. Monsters Incorporated is going to be, higher up on the list. But I thought Monster University was fun. It had a lot of good themes, college themes. I think it was a fun movie. I mean, obviously, the canon was a little, does that really work? Does it not? Who cares? But yeah, that was a fun movie. We watch it all the time. I like Monster University. It's not as good as some of the classics that are up on my list, but definitely a good one.
So on my list, we're not at the money movies yet. Number 14 is a movie that everybody loves, and I don't hate it, but I don't. My number 14 is Finding Nemo, and I don't really love it. I don't think it's great. I think it's okay. I think it's fine, but I didn't really care as much for Marlin or Nemo or Dory as much as I cared for characters like Carl from Up, or Woody, or Mr. Incredible, or Mike and Sully. I just didn't really care about Marlon or him finding his kid. I just found the movie kind of slow and not really interesting.
Wow.
But what puts this movie higher is that um, I do like the dynamic between Marlon and Dory. It's fun. It's nice. I guess I put this movie higher on the list than other movies because there's nothing I really dislike about it. It's just that I don't really. Every time I've seen this movie a lot, and every time I never really care. I never get super invested like I do with something like I don't know, Inside Out. But as far as kids movies go, it's one of the best. Like in terms of it's better than like Minions or something like that. But I never really gravitated towards this movie as much as I did other Pixar movies.
All right. So, Bugs Life, number 13. Another really good movie. I like it. It's early Pixar. It's when Pixar was still really brand new. Underrated because it's old, but I thought it was good. They have the circus performers. They have the guy lying to his village. They have the bad guy Grasshopper. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it's very early Pixar,
Yeah.
and it's really what everything else is built on. So I'm really not everything else, but a lot of it's built on Bugs Life. It came out at the same time as Ants, which is not a Pixar movie, which is also a very good movie.
I like that movie.
But yeah, Bugs Life, definitely a good watch with your family.
13 for me, Monsters University. Before you get mad at me, yeah, I do have Monsters University above Finding Nemo. Deal with it. Yeah, this movie's good. You're right. It doesn't really make sense with the canon